Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. This series I am once again joined by my wonderful co-host, That Darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are sharing our experience reading Words of Radiance for the first time. Each episode we will discuss the chapter and share our experience along the way.
This is Storming the Archives, Words of Radiance, and today we discuss Chapter 21.
Chapter 21.
Oh no, Bluth, why?
I know. It was so horrible. I'm like, no, I want more of him.
Right. Are you more upset about Bluth or Yasna?
Obviously, Yasna, but still.
Yeah. Look, I so strongly feel like Yasna's story isn't done yet, that I do feel like Bluth's death is a bit more final. And then you get the gut punch at the end of this chapter with Sanderson having a picture of an Alethi soldier, and for a moment you think it's Bluth and you think that's the artwork, and it's not. I'm like, oh.
I did that, yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Like, why didn't you show us the Bluth picture, man?
Right?
Come on. She found it in the chapter.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my experience. Mm-hmm. It's a good chapter.
Yeah, it's a very good chapter. But the way it just starts, like the first sentence is she's closing Bluth's eyes, and he's like, he's dead.
Yeah, it is right there.
He's like, haha, he took that from me. Oh.
I was so looking forward to him being like her protector at the Shattered Plains. Yeah. But we haven't even done the epigraph.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty, why don't you sing this one to us? It is a song after all.
No, thank you.
A sad, mournful tune for Bluth.
I'm not singing it.
Okay, fine. I won't make you.
I don't want people leaving the video.
Mediation form made for peace, it's said. Form of teaching and consolation. When used by the gods, it became instead form of lies and desolation. From the Listener Song of Listing, 33rd stanza. Oh, you know what? Okay, yes, we are going to have this discussion now, but then I forgot to front load another thing about the interlude chapters. Okay, let's just do this now. So, mediation form is a thing. I appreciate that they say it's for peace. Like, there's this idea that a mediator is a person who tries to get two sides to compromise. They are the peacemakers, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that sort of darker undertone by the end of this, that when the gods used either this form or the Parshendi, it's still unclear what that relationship is, that these, I guess you might say, diplomats basically did sort of this espionage, like trickery to exacerbate issues, false pieces, false promises, things like that, right?
The way I see it is it could have been like some sort of negotiation between these gods and the mediators, and they decided that something, you had to put the Parshendi down, if you know what I'm saying, because it was safer that way. Otherwise, they become they bring forth desolation. Now, so from the Parshendi perspective, this brings them lies and desolation because it made them sacrifice themselves. That's how I see it. But obviously, that's just a theory.
I do like that interpretation. Teaching and consolation are interesting picks. Consolation first connects, I think, to this chapter with Bluth's death, because you need to be consoled over something like that. Mm-hmm. But as far as mediating between people, I mean, I guess you can extend olive branches through understanding, a show of understanding. I understand where you're coming from. I know that's frustrating for you, but is it fair to leave them without X, Y, or Z? Do you really need X, Y, or Z? That kind of thing. Teaching, I don't know what you can learn from mediation form. I mean, I guess my mind is on the interludes chapter because it just aired this week. But in terms of, like, if we've got the Alethi army and the Parshendi army, teaching both sides the why of each other side, getting them to see the other side's POV. That is a form of teaching.
Yeah, it's educating each side about the other. That's what I see here. That's what you would need for teaching. Yeah. And consolation is also where like you said, when there is a compromise, it's understanding that compromise has been made and a loss has been incurred for the greater good.
Yeah. Anything else to say on this?
Well, obviously, just the thing, obviously we got a word there. Desolation! Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So the thing I forgot to front load. I've had a unique expansion. I was listening back to the interlude chapisodes as they were airing. Now, in hindsight, with knowledge of Helaron from the Shalon flashbacks, having this dynamic of someone who is essentially abandoning their family to go out and do great things or whatever. Listening back to how I was explaining Venli, her relationship to Eshonai, I found myself much more attuned to Venli's frustration. Now, I still feel like she's going to do the Green Goblin thing and cross some scientific line that she isn't supposed to. But this idea of Eshonai having been this person to go out into the world, leave them at home, while Venli did the good, the right thing. She honored her people by learning their songs and worked hard and did all the things a good daughter is supposed to, only to have that adventurous, grandness-seeking sibling return and then somehow gain all of these tremendous accolades while your own contribution to your family gets overlooked. I found myself feeling for Venli a lot more than I was before. And I think before I was just really into she's so bitter and I am afraid she's going to do something really dangerous. But that has kind of changed.
But with that explanation and everything, I can understand that she could have, that's a deep source of bitterness. So the bitterness could still be there. It could still drive her to step over that line, but it makes sense that it's there because of what you described, like exactly how horrible and frustrating it must be. It's just where it's like, hello, I did the right thing. I stayed here. You went off gallivanting, essentially, and then you get rewarded for it, whereas I don't ever get anything, a kind of thing. I can understand that, but it's, I still think she is a risk.
Yeah.
She's something to watch.
Agreed. So I just felt like that was something that I wanted to share with everyone.
Yeah, it's good to bring those things up. Look, by the time this airs, it'll have been a while ago, but still it's relevant.
Yeah. So the chapter does, in fact, open with Shalon closing Bluth's eyes, which was very sad. That got me like a gut punch. Folks are groaning, some of which are bandits who are being executed by Vatha one by one. And I had such an image of that in my mind. I imagine them kneeling. It's a dirty, destructive landscape. Everyone's worn and dirty, and he's just this big, stoic guy chopping their heads off.
For me, he's literally, it's like he's walking around and just stabbing people already lying down. So like, that they're just lying there going, and then he stabs them, and then they're like, and they stop. I like that. Yeah.
That's probably closer to what it was actually intended to be. The description of him doing the duty grimly was impactful for me.
Yeah, he's not taking joy in it, and that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's soldiery. You do that thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's sort of compassionate as well. It's just listen. Don't let them sit there and die. Yeah.
Do you think we could have this conversation later when Vatha speaks with her, but I'll ask it now. Do you think Vatha is literally a psychopath? In terms of, like, he just has no emotions ever?
No, I think he has emotions.
He does reference having nightmares later, so I think he does.
Yeah, he does. He's just a tortured man and a negative man.
Yeah. Hey, that's just going to make it feel all the better when Shallan turns him into a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the worse when he dies immediately after having a redemptive moment.
Exactly. Thanks. I'm like, oh, so this is the new Bluth? Like, sorry, refund. I would like the first Bluth.
Right? That was another thing about this chapter as a whole. It's like, I was so comfortable with just the slavers and the danger they're in their travels to get to the Shattered Plains. It feels like Shallan has leveled up, and so has the difficulty, because now she's got someone more dangerous than the slavers, and she's in a weirdly better position at the same time than she was with the slavers. So there's just like this, saturation's not the right word, a heightening of the status quo.
Yeah. No, it's she's leveled up, but there's more responsibilities here. There's more to lose. This is still preferable where she is by the end of this chapter.
You think so?
Yeah. It's okay. She's changing people's lives. She's got a lot more people on her side, and she literally has. She doesn't have. She'll have shoes. You know that's better.
Yeah. Look, I don't know though. I feel like Vatha could kill her. I don't feel like any of the slavers would have killed her.
They could have tried. They could have eventually gotten sick of her.
Perhaps.
I think she was in danger anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, as Shallan is imagining that Vatha is thinking that it could have been his men who died just as easily as the men he's currently killing, she has a thought regarding heroes and villains. Please read it, Kitty.
What separates the heroes from the villains? One speech in the night?
I wrote Elend next to that.
Yeah. He changed all the rioting Scar into citizens.
Yeah, certainly did do that. No, but it's a good question. It's an existential one.
Yeah, and it comes back when she does speak to Vatha later on. It's like, you don't just get it's not that easy. It's a whole journey. But that's the thing is, a journey starts with a single step.
She sees something hanging out of Bluth's jacket, and sure enough, it is the artwork. So there was an interesting thing. The line is, the one that depicted him not as he was, but as she imagined he once might have been. I didn't go back and reread the last Shallan chapter, but I thought when she was drawing the picture, it was what he could be, not what he might have been like. But I could be wrong on that. Do you remember?
I think it wasn't explicit about which it was. It was just more, she was just drawing him as he, that in a way that felt right. It just,
okay.
The other way didn't feel right. This felt right.
Okay. And then she gets one line in. Again, I'll ask you to read it, Kitty, because I like it so much.
I was wrong. You were a fine way to restart my collection, Bluth. Fight well for the Almighty in your sleep, bold one.
Damn it, Sanderson. Why do you make me feel such things?
Yeah. She started the collection. She lost him. But he died a hero. He died having embraced a little bit of light.
Yeah. So she gets up, she sees many dead people, many haggard people, and she walks over to the caravan leader who is talking to the female guard from earlier. The leader, an older man, is named Macob, who doesn't seem to be Thalen or Alethi, and the woman's name is Teen, or Tyne. You know, I don't think I listened to the audiobook this week.
I think I did, but I don't remember how it was pronounced. I can look.
Yeah, it's fine. For now. Next week. Macob is full of gratitude for her saving the day. Shalon. Tyne says,
I've been telling Makeup of your offer earlier on the hill.
Makeup chuckled an incongruous sound considering their surroundings. Offer, she calls it. My associate is under the impression that it was really a threat. These mercenaries obviously work for you. We are wondering what your intention is for this caravan. I suppose that this can be the downside of phrasing these things as she has been with the I shall allow you of it. Because clearly Tyne took it in a very negative, oh, they're working together. This was planned. We are being, what's the word, extortioned? Strong-armed?
Yeah, I don't know. Threatened, yeah.
Yeah, now some of that could just be her untrustworthy guard nature, but I don't think it's not without some reason considering how Shalon addressed her at first and how high one must have to roll on diplomacy to turn the ex-soldiers to their side. Like, that is such an unbelievable feat.
Yeah, so it's way more believable that these guys just already worked for her and she was just, I don't know, just toying with them by saying, no, we must join together and we must, I must join. She was just like, yeah, cool, but everyone's going to die.
Right.
Was like, yeah, so I don't, and basically after the fact, she's just like, oh, so you did have soldiers. Okay.
Right. She explains that she did manage to persuade them. Makeup imagines that surely the soldiers then can be the ones to take her to the Shattered Plains, and Shalon essentially wants to travel with the caravan to remind them of civilization. And yeah, there is, I think, an added layer of protection at play here by having others around, which I think is smart. Yeah?
Yeah, that is true. That is, I wouldn't want her to just be with the mercenaries.
Yeah, see, I'd asked earlier, essentially, but I think Shalon would have been much safer alone with the slavers than the ex-soldiers.
Yeah. There's fewer of them to deal with.
Yeah. The slavers will sell you. The ex-soldiers, I think, wouldn't lose a wink of sleep just killing you because you're annoying. And Shalon basically says, I mean, they could, but I'm a Bright Eyes, so they aren't going to, travel airily enough for me.
Yeah, she's like, I am a lady of quality, so I need high quality when I travel.
Right. Tyne then says,
we could use her soldiers. My own force is reduced to a handful.
She inspected Shalon again, this time with curiosity. It wasn't an unfriendly look. A couple of things here. One, I imagine the ex-soldiers being hired by Tyne wouldn't be a bad pathway forward. Like, Vatha gives off clearly evil vibes, would rather be a bandit, but the others being ex-soldiers without much personality to us yet, I can't imagine wouldn't be so inherently violent that they would turn up a decent guard job, right?
Yeah, they are being given a chance to do something. But then again, it could just be that they're going to be part of her force or under her control or something while they travel. And then it is still up to Shalon to make sure that those men are pardoned for abandoning. Yeah.
Right. Also, between the line earlier with Shalon not knowing what to make of a woman who dresses like a soldier and carries a sword, combined with this line here about Tyne looking at Shalon with not an unfriendly look. Maybe I'm just fond of tomboys, but I start shipping it.
Yeah, it's yeah, of course. You are a shipper. We know this. But yeah, she paused on her. She's checking her out. Maybe.
I think that's what that is. They come to an agreement, and they're going to take her to the Shattered Plains. They're going to treat her with every bit of courtesy along the way. Then they will part, nothing more owed to each other. So that was a very business-minded little speech that Makeup gave there, which I found to be character-filled.
Yeah, I found myself liking him, but that obviously makes me go, uh-oh, wait a second. Is he going to betray her?
Right.
So, yeah.
And Shalon proceeds with the line,
I shall allow you to join me, your caravan to mine.
it's
Yes, Shalon.
the exchange is very formal.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want to see Shalon think of other, subtler ways to communicate that idea.
But it worked. I mean,
It works,
he's like, oh,
yeah.
okay, so it's okay, your caravan under your authority, yes. And the way I like the way that she's like, did you expected otherwise? There's no argument there. It's just like, okay, it's fine, whatever.
And I'm into it as the political move here. Before anything calms down, she's going to set the lie that she's the one in charge of the slavers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it grants her some more authority.
And I like that Makeup does not like the slavers, at least. He's just like, ooh.
Yeah, he wants them riding at the back. Doesn't want them associated with him at all.
Mm.
Can you blame him? So then she takes off and Vatha confronts her. He's upset that some of his men are dead. Now, Shalon characterizes his voice as monotone, and that mixed with his dead eyes mentioned previously is why I brought up the possibility of him being a psychopath. But monotone could just be he doesn't want to show any particular emotion, of course, considering his circumstances. But the fact that he's bringing up that some of his men are dead does suggest that he cared about them, possibly.
Yeah, exactly. And he comes off as angry to me anyway. Like, so he might be monotone or whatever, but he's angry at what's happened. And he's angry. I think that he's angry with her expecting them to change or giving them hope to change into better men. He's not convinced that they can, be redeemed. That's what I'm finding from him, is that he's more like, there's no way, we've done some horrible things. This is, you don't just come in and then tell us we'll be better men. That doesn't work. That doesn't work that way.
It doesn't wipe out what we did.
Yeah. Doesn't wipe out what we did, but yeah, as well, it doesn't change those instincts that made them do what they did as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, they can try, and maybe he's got resentment for that, because it's like, how dare they try and be better? We're supposed to just be the scum of the earth because we were treated badly, and it's just so much easier to just be that than to expect more from us. So he's struggling with that, I think, internally.
Sure. And I mean, we know Gaz is among them, and it's the circumstance of Gaz is that he forced Bridgman to charge arrow fire. So, how do you live with that on your conscience?
Yeah, and does he even feel bad for that part? Does he just feel bad for because he was doing, his soldierly duty when he did that. It's not like he had much power to go and be like, no, Sadius, we can't do this. He couldn't have done that. So he was doing his job. But the deserter part, that's something that he might have guilt for.
Right. There's something about, the light makes the darkness seem that much darker, doesn't it? So it touches a nerve, being reminded that you can do good things if you view yourself as irredeemable. Anyway, we get a great interaction here. You don't look like you did before. Did my eyes mistake me? I saw a queen in the darkness. Now I see a child.
Perhaps you saw what your conscience needed you to see.
Good line. And I'm really glad that someone called her out on the illusion, because up till now, everyone had basically just been gasping and ogling, but finally someone said, what was that?
Yeah, I think some people would just be like, oh, my eyes just, the light was playing tricks on me, and they kind of dismiss it. Whereas he's like, no, that's a very big change. And it wasn't just a trick of the light.
Right. And I really love the way that Shalon plays it off, and it's going to contribute to a grander thing that she's going to apparently try and do with this guy, with what Pattern does in just a few moments. It is so good. I really enjoyed this interaction.
Yeah, it was a good response that she was just like, no, was just your conscience. Like, that's it. She doesn't need to talk about it further.
Mm-hmm. He does note that if they go back to the Shattered Plains, they'll be executed, and he calls her out, saying, your word means nothing. And he's not wrong. He doesn't know her. He doesn't have a reason to trust her. He doesn't...
Yeah, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know enough about her. He doesn't know she can deliver on this. That what the others that accepted it...
We don't even know if she can deliver on it. We can presume because we know she's intent to marry, but I had imagined, I already forgot what specific line I had imagined, but something to the effect of her communicating, no, I'm not a queen, but I am in the line of succession. And that is absolute truth. So if anyone
would she be in the line of succession? Couldn't she just be like, I don't know if she is in the line of succession. Wouldn't she just be part of the royal family?
I don't know the exact family trees. We know that Elhokar has a child, but I think it's Elhokar, Elhokar's child, Dalinar, Adolin, Renarin. Wouldn't it be?
Yeah. So she could never inherit the throne.
Not inherit the throne, but she could, to be queen.
Yeah. But it's just, it doesn't seem like that's much of
it's not likely, but it's not untrue.
She could say, like, my future husband is this and this in the line of succession.
Wait. I think I might have a different idea from you about what it means to be in the line of succession. I think yours is probably right here, but the point of it is she can ascend to being queen.
Yeah.
Anyway, as Vatha is about to brutally attack her, Pattern speaks, telling him to let him go. And we get that wonderful scene of him looking behind him, looking around him to see who's speaking, and Shalon, without missing a beat, writes it off as maybe it's your own conscience.
Not that she said that, but like basically just kind of lets him lean into it.
Exactly. She does not actually say that, but she says she heard nothing. So.
Yeah, and she says it calmly. She's like, I heard nothing.
Yep.
But there's still the way that she said that, like she didn't say, said what? She said, I heard nothing. That still kind of makes it seem like, did she hear it or didn't she? So there's just enough uncertainty to be like, was it her? Is it my conscience? Like, it confuses him. He bamboozled.
Exactly. I also want to compare this to Syl. We know Syl doesn't like being seen by people. It's interesting to me that Pattern is so willing to say something.
Yeah, he's having an influence on what's on goings on. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And also he knows the value of such a quote unquote lie. You know, it's just a voice. There's nothing he can really do physically, but he's scaring the person. So he's definitely more inclined to have an effect on the immediate surroundings.
Yeah. You know, this really translates well to the epigraph with mediation form of lies and desolation, trickery afoot.
Yeah. It's presenting things in the best way possible so you can get out of a bad situation.
Right. Vatha walks off, and both Shalon and Pattern agree that one is and or will be trouble.
Yeah, I love the way that was a cute like interaction, the way he's like, oh, so that's another figure of speech. It's just like, no, because he's like, well, I thought he was trouble though. So the literal,
or I thought he is.
He is trouble. Like, or he is already trouble, not going to be. Like, it's just a neatly done little bit of interaction, and those things count. They build up.
Yeah, very much. So she continues on to Tavlakov, and I was a bit confused by what he was saying at first until we make it farther into the conversation and realize that he's just kind of trying to grasp at straws to figure out how things ended up as they did.
Yeah, how did she end up on top here? And so she must have been in league with Bluth and everything from the beginning. And yeah, nice try.
Yeah, and none of it really makes sense. Bluth didn't work for the ex-soldiers either. We get a good exchange. This doesn't make any sense. But how? Why? We should be dead.
The Almighty preserved us.
Your Almighty is a farce.
You should hope he is. For if he is not, then damnation itself awaits men like you.
So good. Great bite.
Yeah, she's like, she doesn't need him anymore, so she's gonna go hard at him and let him know exactly. Like, it's not like she treated him very nicely before, but the gloves are off now.
Yeah. Now, do you think it's wise and or good that she burned this bridge here?
It doesn't have to be a burnt bridge. It's just, it wasn't a very sturdy bridge to begin with. It was a bridge of convenience. I don't think it's that much of a big deal.
Okay, and you don't think she's in any more danger by not having them?
Yeah, I don't think so. And I think in future, if she ever were to have another, need for this guy, again, it would be based on what can he get out of it. It's not like there's any goodwill that she needs to work with or work on here.
Sure.
So it's like she's not burning much.
Sure. I will also say, particularly as we get toward the end of this chapter, there's something very humanly unifying about how it's really highlighted that each group here lost people, and they are all in mourning. Tvlakov seems to be mourning for his dead, the ex-soldiers are mourning for theirs, and the caravan for theirs.
I don't really get too much of Tvlakov being mournful.
He was in denial over Bluth, and we know that some of his other folks died. I guess it's not like super explicit with him, but personally, I read an undertone of it. Maybe it's just something that I bring to the reading more so than intended by Sanderson.
Like, I guess I just don't like him so much that I'm just like, he doesn't care. This is just an inconvenience to him.
Sure. Tvlakov's not a good guy. Despite how likable he was in book 1. To Kaladin, apparently. Anyway, Shallan, with all the power moves, insists that the slaves be given to her as recompense for saving his life. Tvlakov feels like she's stealing from him, but there's not much that he can do about it. As the slaves contemplate running, I wrote to myself, wait, a high storm is coming like that night. Are you really going to run out into the wilds? Is that really an option for you?
They're still considering it. They just, it's just like, wait, I'm free. So yeah, it's something that would definitely run through their minds.
Right. And then with regard to the payment system, we get a good line. I'll let you say it.
You may run if you wish. I will not hunt you. I need servants, however, and I will pay you well. 6 fire marks a week if you agree to put 5 of them toward paying down your slave debt. 1 if you don't.
So we take away the same amount either way? What kind of sense does that make?
The best kind.
I enjoyed that interaction.
So that's it. She's just done. That's it. Like, she doesn't have to really pay them that much.
So you don't think that was a backwards way of trying to get them to work toward their own freedom?
Yeah, they're working towards their own freedom, yeah.
At the end of the day, funny exchange. At that point, she buys a wagon from Tvlakov, and she pays the asked for price, regardless of whether or not it's a steal. Tvlakov doesn't want the parshmen, and Shallan simply says you can keep them. And I was kind of hoping for, sir, you couldn't pay me to take those parshmen from you. But it's fine. It would have been a little strange.
It would have been weird. Yeah.
And then the scene ends with one of the caravan women giving a glyph prayer thing to Gaz, and they burn the glyph, and everyone looks mournful. The ex-soldiers turned heroes look uncomfortable. They don't know what to do with how everyone's kind of looking at him, and they all collectively mourn.
Mm-hmm. And they seem to be, well, the way the last line, she left them standing taller, which is like, did she stand taller or did they stand taller? I think maybe it's both, because these bandits are remembering what it's like to be a hero, to be a good person.
Yeah, it's interesting. They bow their head before the Almighty, and then the idea is followed up by they seem taller.
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder if there's purpose behind that from thought to thought.
Yeah.
Last time I had a full page of artwork, some of the words were cut off. Can you read what the bottom of the art says to me, please?
Page form, a folio of fashion, pages out of Leofor. The model, it should be noted, is Alethi, as this folio was intended for sale in the Alethi and Veden markets.
Cool. And Veden markets is what was cut off for me here. Yeah, good art.
Yeah.
I guess although it is baited. Not Bluth, I was baited so hard. I suppose this is probably close to what Bluth looked like, though. It would be mean if it wasn't.
Yeah, like what's the point of putting him in here? Yeah. Like it makes sense, it's different. Like on first glance you're thinking, oh, they put in the Bluth picture. But then you realize, there's there's designs of clothing on the left. It doesn't just, But I do agree. It's supposed to make you think of that picture.
Yeah. Well, I think that was more or less quite thorough. I don't know that I have too much more else to say.
Other than like the video.
If you like. Kitty, you come up with something to say this time.
Vartha needed Patton to scare the crap out of him to stop, to make a decision and not hurt Shalon. You don't need that. You can just click the like button. You're already convinced. Aren't you?
Aren't you? Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to That Darn Kita if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel.
Subscribe to this channel, because you know it's great.
It would be greatly appreciated, and we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, thanks, bye.